Red-legged earth mites are one of Australia's most economically damaging pests of agriculture. They attack a wide variety of different crops and pastures right across southern Australia and are particularly difficult due to the recent emergence of insecticide resistance.
Red-legged earth mites are particularly damaging to broadacre plants, with canola, clover, medics and forage brassicas being most susceptible. Here I've got some red-legged earth mites collected from the field. As you can see, red-legged earth mites are only small, being about 1 millimetre. They have a black body and 8 orange to red legs. These guys spend majority of their time on the soil surface, but come up on the plant surface to feed, where they generally feed in clusters of up to 30 individuals at any one time. And this is a distinguishing factor with other coexisting mite species that generally feed individually. Red-legged earth mites are active in the cooler months, so typically from April to around October, November, and they survive the hot summer months as diapause eggs. And they are particularly damaging at seedling establishment in autumn, where their feeding can cause reduced plant growth and seedling damage.
Growers do have the ability to undertake risk assessments and therefore identify whether interventions will be needed in their paddocks. Some of the things that growers can do is think about the crop that they've sown the previous year. Some crop types, like pastures, will be a very important sink for red-legged earth mites. Other crops like chickpeas and cereals will reduce the risk of red-legged earth mites the following year. If stubbles are being burnt over summer, that again will reduce the risk of red-legged earth mites heading into the season. And of course, the crop that's going to be sown is going to be particularly important in determining risk. Management of red-legged earth mite ideally should start the previous spring. During that period, growers have an opportunity to use a couple of different strategies to minimise red-legged earth mite pressure the following year. One of those is something called time right. The other is in pasture settings to strategically graze pastures to below 2 tonne per hectare of dry matter. At sowing, growers can effectively manage red-legged earth mites using insecticide seed treatments, particularly on susceptible crops such as canola and pastures. These are very effective and offer growers some peace of mind that their crops will establish even in the presence of red-legged earth mite populations. Once crops have emerged, monitoring for red-legged earth mites is really important, particularly during the first 4 to 6 weeks of crop establishment. This is the time that red-legged earth mites typically cause the most damage to most of our grain crops, but also to emerging pastures as well. As the season progresses, red-legged earth mite numbers will continue to rise, but typically, for most broadacre grain crops, red-legged earth mites do not warrant chemical control at later crop stages. If chemicals are needed, it's really important to remember to rotate chemicals due to the rising issues of insecticide resistance. My top tips around managing red-legged earth mites is to first and foremost get familiar with the pest and the life cycle. That can really help in how we manage this species. Secondly, make use of the tools that are available. There are some fantastic resources that GRDC have developed and the hatch timing tool that are really effective in managing red-legged earth mites when used in the right way. And of course, keep resistance in mind. This is a growing issue in this species. So if we are using chemicals, be particularly cognizant of which chemicals we're using, and where possible, follow the chemical windowing strategy that has been developed by GRDC and industry experts. That's a very effective strategy in managing red-legged earth mites, but also in reducing the risk of further resistance issues.